You ever walk into a room and totally forget why you went in there? Or someone tells you their name and literally 5 seconds later, gone. Just poof. Yeah, we've all been there. Forgetting things isn't just annoying. Sometimes it makes us feel a bit broken. Like, what's wrong with my brain? But here's the truth. Your brain is not broken. It's just busy, overloaded, distracted, and maybe no one ever showed you how to actually remember things properly. But that's about to change. Today, I want to share with you some real, practical, and honestly kind of fun ways to start remembering things better, whether it's for school, work, or just everyday life. Let's jump in. Part 1, Why We Forget. So before we talk about remembering, let's talk about forgetting. Why do we forget things in the first place? Most of the time, it's not because our brain is weak. It's because we never really paid attention in the first place. Like, that person's name, we were already thinking about what we were going to say next. That thing we needed from the kitchen, we were thinking about 14 other things at once. Our brain is like a sponge, but it only soaks up what it's actually paying attention to. And these days, with constant notifications, multitasking, and our minds being everywhere at once, we don't give our brain a fair shot at remembering. So the first step to remembering things better is this: be present, be intentional. When you hear something important, pause, repeat it, picture it, let it actually sink in. Simple, right? But powerful. Part 2, the power of visual memory. Here's something cool. Your brain loves pictures. Seriously, it's way better at remembering images than plain words. Let me show you what I mean. If I give you a list of 10 random words, like banana, book, chair, mirror, tiger, shoes, pizza, guitar, candle, and just ask you to remember them, you might remember a few. But what if I told you to imagine a tiger playing guitar while sitting on a pizza under a cloud shaped like a banana? Weird? Yes, but also memorable, right? That's the power of visual association. If you want to remember something, especially a list, try turning it into a mental image. The weirder, the better. Your brain loves weird. So next time you need to remember a few groceries, picture them doing something ridiculous together. Eggs doing yoga, milk riding a skateboard, broccoli wearing sunglasses. Trust me, it works. Part 3, the memory palace trick. All right, now we're stepping it up. Let me introduce you to something called the memory palace. Sounds fancy, I know, but it's actually a super old, super effective memory technique. Here's how it works. Step 1, think of a place you know really well: your home, your school, your favorite cafe. Step 2, mentally walk through that space. Imagine each room, each detail. Now, let's say you need to remember a speech, or steps in a process, or even a to-do list. You take each thing you need to remember and place it somewhere in your memory palace. Maybe the first idea is sitting on your couch. The second one is stuck to your fridge. The third one is dancing on your bed. Then, when it's time to recall that info, you just walk through your memory palace and see the things you placed there. Sounds strange? Maybe, but this technique has been used for thousands of years by Greek orators, by memory champions, by students and professionals today, because it works. It turns abstract ideas into mental visuals, and it gives your brain a location-based system to store and retrieve info. And best part, you already have the tool: your imagination. Part 4, the spaced repetition secret. Let's talk about studying, because remembering for school or work is a whole different beast. Have you ever crammed the night before a test, memorized everything, and then forgotten it all the next day? Yeah, me too. Here's why that happens. Your brain doesn't like cramming. It likes spacing things out. Enter spaced repetition. This is the idea that if you review something multiple times, spaced out over hours, days, even weeks, your brain starts to lock it in. Long-term memory, not just short-term. It's like watering a plant. One big splash doesn't do much, but regular, small sips over time, that's how it grows. So instead of rereading your notes over and over in one night, try this. Review it once today, come back to it tomorrow, again 2 days later, then a week later. Each time, your brain gets better at recalling it until it just becomes part of you. Apps like Anki or Quizlet use this system. They'll even remind you when to review based on what you're forgetting. But honestly, you don't need an app. A simple notebook and calendar can do the trick. Part 5, use or lose it. Let me tell you something wild. Your memory isn't a storage box. It's more like a muscle. And if you don't use it, It weakens. But if you use the things you learn, teach them to someone, write them down in your own words, apply them in real life, they stick so much better. This is why we often forget stuff we study for a test, but remember song lyrics from 10 years ago. We used those lyrics. We sang them. We felt something. So whatever you're trying to remember, don't just read it. Don't just highlight it. Engage with it. Talk about it. Teach it. Draw it. Turn it into a song. Make it weird, emotional, fun. Whatever helps your brain say, hey, this matters. Because your memory isn't passive. It's alive. It needs motion, connection, repetition. Closing first half, shift in energy. Okay, so far we've talked about some powerful techniques. But here's the thing no one tells you. Remembering isn't just about hacks and tricks. It's also about how you feel, your mindset, your energy. If you're constantly stressed, sleep deprived, distracted, or doubting yourself, your brain's going to struggle. So in the next part, we're going deeper into how your daily habits, emotions, and even sleep affect your memory. And I'll share how to build a life where remembering isn't a struggle, it's natural. Stay with me. Part 6, stress and memory. All right, so we've covered memory tricks, techniques, and tools, but now we need to talk about something even more important. Your brain is not a machine. It's not meant to be on all the time. And when you're tired, stressed, or burnt out, your memory takes the hit. Let's start with sleep. Sleep isn't just rest. It's actually when your brain processes everything you learned during the day. Think of it like this. If your day is the time you collect files, your night is when your brain files them into the right folders. Without enough sleep, your brain just leaves those files scattered all over the floor. So, yeah, of course it's hard to remember anything. 7 to 9 hours, that's the sweet spot for most people. And don't fall into the I'll sleep when I'm dead mindset. Because if you don't sleep enough, your brain is basically walking around half functional. And what about stress? Chronic stress isn't just mentally exhausting. It actually shrinks the part of your brain that helps with memory, the hippocampus. So if you're constantly stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed, even the best memory tricks might not stick. The solution? It's not magic, but it's worth it. Get enough sleep. Take breaks. Breathe deeply. Move your body. Be kind to yourself. A healthy brain remembers better. Simple as that. 7, connecting new info to old info. Here's another trick that most people overlook. If you want to remember new things, connect them to things you already know. Your brain works like a web, not a filing cabinet. Every memory is a link. The more connections something has, the stronger it becomes. For example, let's say you're learning a new word in another language, like manzana in Spanish, which means apple. You could just memorize it. Or you could link it to something. Manzana sounds kind of like Man's Anna. Picture a guy named Man holding an apple for Anna. Weird? Yes. But remember, weird sticks. Or let's say you're trying to remember a new concept at work. Ask yourself, how does this relate to something I already know? Can I explain this using something familiar? That process of connecting the dots is how your brain locks things in. So don't just collect information. Anchor it to something real. Part 8, teach to remember. Want to know one of the best ways to remember anything? Teach it to someone else. I'm serious. If you can explain a concept to someone clearly, without looking at your notes, it means you really understand it. Even if there's no one around to teach, talk to yourself. Yes, really. Try this. After you study something, close your notebook. Then try to explain it out loud, like you're teaching a friend. You'll quickly see what you actually understand and what you don't. This method is called the Feynman technique, named after a Nobel Prize-winning physicist who believed that if you can't explain something simply, you don't really know it. So make it a habit. Learn, teach, remember. Part 9, turn memory into a game. Let's be honest, memorizing things can feel boring sometimes. But what if it didn't have to be? What if you turned it into a game? There are so many fun ways to do this. Quiz yourself with flashcards. Challenge your friends to memory battles. Use memory apps like Anki or Memrise that make review feel like a level-up game. Set goals. Can I remember 10 words in 5 minutes? Gamifying your memory practice doesn't just make it fun. It actually motivates your brain. Because your brain loves rewards. It loves progress. It loves winning. So give it a reason to enjoy remembering. Part 10, make it emotional. Here's a little brain secret. Your memory is deeply connected to emotion. That's why you remember how you felt on your first heartbreak, but not what you ate last Tuesday. Emotion makes memories stronger. So, when you're trying to learn something, add emotion to it. Ask yourself, why does this matter to me? How does this make me feel? What's the story behind this? Whether you're studying history, learning a skill, or trying to memorize something for work, if you can feel curious, excited, inspired, or even angry about it, you're way more likely to remember it. So don't just learn with your brain. Learn with your heart too. Final message. So now you know, you're not forgetful because you're broken. You're forgetful because no one taught you how to remember. Until now. And the truth is, your memory can be trained. It can get better, sharper, stronger. With time, patience, and practice, you can remember people's names. You can learn faster. You can stop forgetting the things that matter. You don't need a superpower. You just need the right habits. So let's recap real quick. Memory magic in one list. Be present. Use visuals. Try the memory palace. Use spaced repetition. Connect new info to old info. Teach what you learn. Get sleep. Manage stress. Use emotion. And have fun with it. Start small. Pick one thing from this video to try today. Not tomorrow, today. Because every step you take rewires your brain a little bit more. And over time, those little changes, they become big wins. You've got this. Now go remember something awesome.